In this video, I want to quickly talk about a pattern that I'm calling a gift house. And some of these patterns that I'm doing, I was going to be typing up and putting online, but it's easier and faster to do it this way. This is really what we're talking about. This is a little square house with just a flat roof. This was my prototype one, just put together with chain stitching. But you can see what I have in here are actually quilt squares that I'm going to finish. Now, you can make them in all different sizes. If I have one not right here with me, but if you start with an 8.5 inch square and cut the squares 8.5 inches, it should be big enough to hold a Singer Model 20. And that's what I mean. I was going to write these up as, official patterns. But anyway, so it's a gift house. You can use this for, you could put quilt squares in here. These are all the ones that I want to hand stitch. So they're staying in here. You can use it for any kind of knickknacks. I'm making mice. This is Jumper. And Jumper can live in a house. He's the Christmas mouse from The Night Before Christmas. He could live in a house. You could have your children put toys in there. There's another reason that I'm doing this quickly and doing it now. I had put a video up about making toilet paper, and some people are starting to say I'm getting a little obsessed about this, but actually I'm furious that we live in America and we can't get toilet paper. So this is the crocheted box that I had made to keep in my bathroom. I used 2 strands of Fisherman and made 6-inch square crocheted granny squares, and then sewed them into the same box as the gift box, but they're not really firm enough to stand up, so I have an old tea bag box in there to hold it. This is the toilet paper, and I haven't had to use it yet because I did find some, but I think every household should have a box like this from now on, because you never know when nobody in the country is going to be making toilet paper. These are the 4-inch squares. Some of them are fancy, done with the 500A. Some of them are done with a 237 zigzag. Some of them are done with the Handy Stitch, which I got working. And the Handy Stitch is really the easiest and fastest. You just go around the edges with a chain stitch. Or you can, this is something else I'm doing, is I'm designing them with just abstract thread work. So there are 120 of these in here, and 2 yards of fabric. I got about 120, and I wasn't exact on how I cut it. But instead of making crocheted boxes, I had a couple of other options. One was to make pot holders, and those are always going to be either 6 or 10 inches square, though, depending on what loom you're using. The vintage looms are 6-inch pot holders. Harrisville Designs has a 10-inch pot holder loom. But the fastest way is probably with fabric and batting. So for each house you want 6 squares. And I have not assembled these yet. Now, and the reason was I was going to do embroidery on them. But I may not wait to do that. You just want to go around the edges. If your batting is a loose batting, you may want to do some kind of quilting on them to keep them from move. You don't want the batting to move if you throw this in the washer. So then you lay 5 of them out. You need 6 for each house. You lay 5 of them out, 3 top to bottom, 2 on either side. And you stitch them together just like that. So you would fold these 2 together, stitch this edge, and get 2 together. So you want to stitch them together in this shape. And what you will end up with, when you get to these 2, when you add them, you stitch them on the side like that. So you end up with the same cross design, but now it's all stitched together in this way. And then just making sure you note your insides and outsides, or right sides and wrong sides. You go like this and stitch them on the edges. So I would turn it inside out, stitch it along this edge, and do that on all 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 seams, and then put it right side out again. That will give you your house. And then you take one extra one and simply stitch it to the back like that, and it'll sit like that. Very easy to put together. These are 6 inches square, which will hold 4-inch square quilt squares, or 4-inch square toilet paper, and that's why I'm mentioning it. You can make a box like this to keep in your bathroom, stack it with toilet paper, muslin toilet paper, and like I said, that has, you need like a diaper bag with bleach, a diaper pail with bleach. I'm trying to do too much at once, and I'm getting ahead of myself. A diaper pail with a diluted bleach solution in it, and you throw the used toilet paper into that, and then rinse it again before you throw it in the washer. And it's reusable, and you don't have to drive to 6 stores and see if they have any. And you'll have some in the house, and then you can use it. Now, like I said, this is 6 inches. I also have houses cut out that are 8 inches, and so that would give you, using this one as an example, finished size is about this much wider, and a model 7 is about 7 1/4, I think. And you just have to check the height, but with an 8-inch height, it should be just fine to put a model 20 in there. And then you have a little model 20 house. And you can use them for gift boxes. I mean, this whole pandemic should teach us something. If we can make it out of fabric so it's washable and reusable and not disposable, that's better, because then, you know, we're still buying. We're buying fabric, batting, thread, muslin, but we're not panicking that we don't know how to make something ourselves, or that we can't supply it ourselves. So make a gift box today, and then toss it at your neighbor from 6 feet away and give them a little surprise. Make a stuffed animal. Put cookies in there that won't break. Literally. You can throw it at their doorstep and give somebody a gift. But also, don't throw your Model 20 that way. But also, they're wonderful. I have like 6 of these cut out and ready to be put together. And everything in my house is fighting to go into a box, because, you know, like I have Altoid boxes that are little sewing kits. They can go in there. I have safety pins can go in there. They can hold everything. A gift box house.